Welcome back to Talk of the Town. Joining us is Edwin Benet, who joins us from Fitchburg Cycles, which is a brand new bicycle shop here in Fitchburg, serving the Fitchburg and Madison area. So welcome, how are you doing?
I'm great.
Good. Well, we invited you on today because we're very excited to finally have a bicycle shop right here in Fitchburg. And we wanted to see how business was going so far. You've got 2 months under your belt.
Yep.
Very good. And we want to know, first of all, I'm going to ask you all kinds of questions, but
Okay.
tell me what makes your shop unique compared to some of the other areas or the other shops here in the Madison area.
One of the things that makes our shop unique is that we're really closely located to a bike path, which makes gives the ability to people to test ride bicycles in a nice environment, typically where they're going to ride their bikes. The big thing for us is we're new, so we're extremely competitive. We're trying to offer our customers the best product at the best prices.
Absolutely. And what a cool thing to be able to test out the bikes on some of our many great paths that are nearby here. So that's always a nice thing because that's not something you get to do everywhere.
Right.
Very cool. And what kind of bicycle shop is Fitchburg Cycles? Do you specialize in certain types of bikes, or how does that work?
We try to be everything to everybody, but we have our limitations. We have kids bikes, we have hybrids, performance hybrids. We have full service. We really want to be competitive and offer everybody the services that typically that bike shops provide. And we're continuing to grow and listen to our customers' demands.
Very good. Well, that's what it's all about, right? You got to listen to what your customers are looking for.
Right.
And, speaking of that, it is a very competitive market.
Yes,
so
it is.
there's a lot of bike shops in the area, probably because it is such an active community, which of course is wonderful, especially in the summertime. And we've got all these great trails, as we mentioned. But what I would like to know is, what kind of made you open this shop in such a competitive environment? What was really the driving force behind that?
As a resident of Fitchburg, I felt that Fitchburg was underserved. There was not really a bike shop in the community. And the community in the Fitchburg as a city is extremely involved in cycling. They've won some prestigious awards. They've got all the bridges, the paths, and yet no bike shop to support the interest. So it seemed a pretty obvious need for the city.
Yeah, absolutely. As we mentioned, there is a lot of competition in the area, but you are the only bike shop in Fitchburg, correct?
Correct.
So that's a great thing to finally bring to our community.
Yeah.
And we mentioned you've been open for 2 months now.
Right.
So how is it going so far? Kind of leading into summer, so great timing.
Yeah.
How's business been?
It's been fantastic. I get emotional, but the community has totally embraced the shop. Almost every customer that walks in thanks us for being here. And I think that in itself says a lot about the need. It's been great.
Yeah, and that is really quite incredible. And to your point, there is a need here in Fitchburg. So why do you think it's taken so long, in a city as large as this market, for there finally to be a bike shop here in Fitchburg?
I think finding the right location was probably the most critical. There weren't a lot of spaces available that were big enough. We're 6,300 square feet, and that's a good size shop. And a lot of the retail I looked at was just the spaces were too small, they were too expensive, and they weren't next to a bike path. There were just a lot of issues. We moved into the Blockbuster space at Cahill, Maine, and that spot just is a fantastic location for a bike shop. And ultimately, I think that the city and the real estate, the owners of that real estate, were very aggressive in helping me get that established.
Gotcha. Okay. Very interesting stuff. And we've got just a little bit of time, but I want to know, since you've opened your doors, have there been any big surprises, or what's been sort of the big eye opener for you?
Just how quickly it took off.
Yeah.
I kind of expected it would take. I thought it would take months, if not years, to reach the goals or to have the kind of traffic that we have right now. But it has just been so instantaneous. It's been amazing.
Absolutely. Well, Obviously, to your point, there was a big need here in Fitchburg, and you have finally filled that need. So, Edwin, we thank you so much for bringing Fitchburg Cycles right here at Fitchburg, and we look forward to checking it out. So,
Thank you.
Thanks so much for your time,
Thank you.
and thank you for joining us. We've got lots more Talk of the Town right after the break. We got exactly all
So you
your
want to redo
questions in.
that?
Nice job.
Thanks.
What'd you think? Welcome back to Talk of the Town, and joining me first is Joey Kennedy, who joins us from Food Fight. So we are so pleased to have you.
Thank you very much.
So first of all, now you're a managing partner
Yep.
for Food Fight. So just tell us a little bit real quick who Food Fight is, what exactly you do.
Sure. Food Fight owns and operates about 18 different restaurant locations in and around the Madison area between Sun Prairie, Madison, and Middleton. We have concepts ranging from diners to high-end steakhouses, so we sort of cover the gamut for everybody.
Very good. And one thing that I think is just so cool about Food Fight is you guys are really into community involvement.
Yep.
So give me some examples of some ways that you guys get involved in the community.
Sure. Each individual restaurant is very embedded in their own neighborhoods and communities, so they each individually do things with their own neighborhoods. Things like Hubbard Avenue Diner contributes to MOM, Monty's Blue Plate Diner contributes to the Goodman Center, and then on a larger scale, Food Fight contributes to Second Harvest Food Bank with a large fundraising effort we do in November, and we also have a great partnership with the YMCA surrounding our kids menus to promote childhood obesity and that.
Very good. So lots of wonderful ways that you guys give back.
Sure.
And that's really nice to hear about. Now, you talk about, with Food Fight, I know that the folks who are involved, it's really about being involved in the whole company and having a sense of ownership with the employees in the restaurants and all that kind of stuff. So, do the members of the staff in Food Fight actually own those restaurants, or kind of how does that work, that partnership?
Yeah, we have ownership opportunities for so many of our employees in our restaurants. Our philosophy is really to promote that type of situation. So with the new restaurant concepts that are coming up, we're shooting for 100% employee ownership. So we've got hourly employees, kitchen managers, general managers, assistant general managers who are part of that ownership opportunity.
Very cool. So each restaurant within Food Fight really operates individually from each other.
Correct.
So that's kind of a nice thing. However, you guys do have Food Fight gift cards that you can buy. So now, are those good at any Food Fight restaurant, or how does that work for folks at home who are watching?
Sure. It's Food Fight gift cards you can purchase at any of our restaurant locations. You can even purchase them from our actual office on Atwood Avenue. And they are good at any of our restaurant locations. So if you're looking for, a quick gift for a teacher at the end of this year, piano teacher, whoever you're looking gifts for, yes, they're great because they are usable at all of our locations.
Very good. And are there any specials or promotions or anything like that going on?
Yeah, we actually have a promotion right now, our spring gift card program. With every $50 you purchase, you get a free $10 bonus certificate. We also do a similar program in the holidays, November and December. Every $100, you get a free $25 card.
Okay, very good. So tips for folks at home
Yeah.
to save a little money with Food Fight and get some great dining at some great prices. So very good. And you guys are actually oftentimes opening new restaurants. So you have one coming up. Is it July
Yep.
coming in? Acento. So tell me about some of the people involved in developing these new locations, and specifically this location. Give us a scoop.
Sure. So one of the exciting things about being able to open restaurants is pulling from the incredible employee resources that we have. So we have Monty Skiro, who's our president, and Caitlin Sumnicht, who's one of the managing partners, along with Chef Michael Pruitt, who is from Steambox on Orchard, are coming together, and they've developed the concept of Cento, which is on the corner of Fairchild and Mifflin, right kitty corner from the public library. So an incredible amount of brains and resources and talent going into this restaurant. We're very excited. We also have a brand new addition to our staff, a director of hospitality, to sort of help, really to focus on our training and just hospitality in general. That's what we do, and so we're looking to really focus on that.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very cool stuff for folks to check out and some new places.
Yeah.
Now, Food Fight, as I understand it, is really the largest restaurant operation in our area, correct? I mean, you guys employ a lot of people,
Yep.
1,000 plus folks. So tell me a little bit about how you're able to provide things to your employees that might set you apart from other groups or other types of establishments in our area.
Sure, we have a lot of different benefits ranging from health and dental options. We do dining discount cards for our staff because we really want them to go out and experience the other restaurants in our group. Feedback from them is invaluable. So we do pay time off, we do tuition reimbursement. So all kinds of things to help not only promote the wellness within the employee and their families, work-life balance, things like that. So.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, not only is it lots of great places to dine, some new places coming up, great gift card specials, and you treat your employees well, which is really good. And you give back to the community. So you guys really have it all going on, and we appreciate you coming on. We'll check out your new location in July. And that's it for Food Fight. We've got more Talk of the Town coming up right after the break. Hey, welcome back to Talk of the Town. Joining us now is John Beckert, who joins us from Forward Janesville. We're very excited to have you. And, mostly I want to talk about Janesville's recovery from all kinds of things going on. We had some recession issues. We've had the loss of General Motors. And so we've got a lot to talk about. First of all, for folks at home who might not be familiar with Forward Janesville, just give us a brief what you do.
We're a nonprofit association of businesses similar to a chamber of commerce and an economic development agency all rolled up into one.
Very good. So now we already kind of mentioned GM's closure. So tell me sort of how monumental that was on the economic capabilities of Janesville when that closed.
Yeah, well, from the 1920s, Janesville was the home of auto manufacturing. And that's a long time to be known as an auto town. And at its peak, General Motors was producing over 250,000 vehicles a year. That's more than all the BMWs sold in the U.S.
Wow.
I mean, it was a big plant.
Yeah.
And for that plant to finally wind down in the late 2008, early 2009, was a major blow on a lot of levels. Obviously, the employment, 2,000 people, payroll, all the things that go with it. But also the community had to look at itself and say, what do we want to be going forward?
Absolutely. So an interesting point. So how did the community respond to that? And, I'm sure there was some fallout from this, huge impact to the area. How did you guys respond to that fallout? What did you do?
Business leaders and government officials banded together. We looked at a strategy to recover. That strategy became known as Rock County 5.0. Note the Rock County, not just Janesville. We decided to band together as a county. And we raised over $1 million privately and approved a plan, a 5-point plan, thus the 5-0, a 5-year plan, 5-0. And now we're at the end of that 5-year period, so it's time to take a look at just how well we did.
Very good. So what is your feeling on that? Over the past 5 years, you've had this plan together. What kind of progress did you make in that 5 years?
Right. We've had over 56 new private development projects in the industrial, commercial, healthcare sector. Wow. Over 200 new jobs, $750 million worth of investment. We've cut our unemployment rate in half. At one time, we had a big supply of available buildings, as you would expect with so many companies going down during the recession. We don't have any buildings over 100,000 square feet left. So we've really turned the corner. Doesn't mean we don't have work to do.
Sure.
And we aren't actually back to the level of employment in the county that we were in 2007, 2008, early 2008. But we're very close. And there's an optimism, finally, that was absent for a long period of time.
Very interesting, and what an incredible story, and some incredible bounce back efforts, and some very impressive stats. And tell me too, I'm sure some of the companies are really driving some of this development and growth. What companies have really been major parts of this, and what do they do?
Yeah, part of the story that was missed for a long time is just how diverse the economy was. Because GM was so front and center.
Sure.
Everybody knows what a Tahoe looks like. They see it on the road and they go, that was made in Janesville.
Yep.
But in fact, well, first of all, healthcare, like in so many communities, expanded dramatically, including an all-new hospital and clinic. St. Mary's and Dean Clinic built a $165 million hospital, which was a big boost. But we have sectors like plastics. Print Corporation is one of the leading producers of medical packaging. Go to the doctor, rip the packaging off. It's made by Print Corp. They've grown. In fact, they're about to open up a new 150,000 square foot expansion.
Wow.
We're real big in food processing. We're the North American operating headquarters for Seneca Foods, and they've just invested a whole bunch of money in an expansion there to make a new line of vegetable drinks that are in pouches. That's about to open.
Wow.
We've had major expansions in information technology. There's a company there called Data Dimensions. They take truckloads of paper documents, scan them, and organize them, and make them available to customers on their servers at their server farms. They hired over 400 new people last year alone.
Wow. Very impressive stuff. Lots of great things that you guys have already accomplished, and we really look forward to seeing what comes in the future for Janesville. I'm sure lots of great things. As you mentioned, you guys have pretty much bounced back from GM's closure, and we're proud of you for that and can't wait to see what you guys do from here. So
Thank you
so much for joining us, and very informative guest, and we appreciate the information.
Thank you.
And you guys stay right there because we are going to be right back. More Talk of the Town after the break. Hey, welcome back to Talk of the Town. Joining us now is Corey Klink, who is the Executive Director for Children Are the Hope. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Telling us about this great organization. And first of all, for folks at home who haven't heard of Children Are the Hope, just give us a briefing of what you do.
Sure. Children Are the Hope is a nonprofit organization. We're based out of Reedsburg. And our mission is to bring children together from around the world. And we do that through environmental education and cultural studies and art, so creative expression.
Very good. And what would you say is the project model, or what is the work of Children Are the Hope?
That's a great question. So our current project model is working with 4th through 6th graders here in Wisconsin, primarily in the southern half of the state. And we partner those students with similar age students in the north central region of Cuba. And it's a really interesting way to bridge sort of these cultural gaps that we're so familiar with and we hear so much about on the news today.
Very cool. So what really got Cuba involved? What's the connection there, and just how did that come to be? It's kind of an interesting spot to choose.
It is indeed, and again, you hear so much about these cultural complexities between the United States and Cuba, and so it's a great question to ask, what brings us together? And I think when you're bringing two cultures like that together to a table to talk about things, whether it's social issues or environmental issues, you have to have that common denominator. And our common denominator that brings these students together is nature. And our current project model includes sandhill cranes and the systems that they rely on here, which includes, of course, wetland areas. And so these children in both countries are talking about the cranes and the wetland systems. And when you talk about saving wetlands for cranes, ultimately you're saving wetlands for people as well. So therein lies sort of this common denominator. It's this thing, this wonderful, beautiful thing that we have in common.
Oh, wow. What a neat story and a neat, way to have gone about choosing that. So, you guys are up to lots of good things.
We
but,
are.
That's a very cool thing to hear about. And I know you guys have actually an event coming up, too.
We have a
So
very special event coming up.
How can folks get in touch with you about that, or what?
Sure.
Tell us about the event.
Sure. Well, the event is called A Celebration of Hope. And sort of the capstone experience of Children Are the Hope is when children in both countries create artwork that's exchanged. And so we're able to spend a full academic year with these kids talking about biology and ecology ecology, and we're talking about culture. So here in Wisconsin, we're talking about Cuban culture. In Cuba, they're talking about Wisconsin culture. And so throughout this academic year, they're experiencing and learning an awful lot, and they're developing their values and developing their beliefs. And that capstone experience is then taking all of that they've learned and experienced and thought and felt, and transforming it into a piece of artwork, into a creative expression. And so the event that we're having, A Celebration of Hope, is featuring that capstone experience. It's featuring that artwork.
Wow, such a cool event.
It is.
Very exciting. And what's sort of the significance of this event? Why do you think it's so specifically important to have an event like this?
Sure, I think it's important for a number of different reasons. I think it's important to celebrate what these children are doing, not only as an individual, but as a collective. And again, you hear about these complexities in politics, in culture, in social issues, and you have these children coming together and sharing their basic human fundamentals. This is the best of humanity, and so it's really a celebration of what these children are doing as far as making the world a better place. And again, that's from an environmental standpoint, but also very much a social standpoint.
Absolutely. And you guys, like I said, are just doing such great things. So we appreciate what you do, and I'm sure
Thank
folks
you.
at home want more information. So
Sure.
tell us, where can we get more information about the art show? Or if we're just interested in either helping out Children Are the Hope or want more information, where's the best way to get in touch with you?
Absolutely. Well, we do have a website. It's childrenarthehope.org. And as far as finding out more about the exhibit, they can go to the website. We also have a Facebook page. And the exhibit is at the Commonwealth Gallery here in Madison. So you can also go to the Commonwealth Gallery website, and they have the specifics there. And the exhibit will run from May 26th through the 31st. So we've got about a week to enjoy and celebrate the kids' work.
Very good. And there's lots of cool artwork for them to check out. So I know
Yes.
you brought some examples.
I
Let's kind
did.
of check those out and see.
Right.
Get a
So-
sneak peek of what we can see at the exhibit, right?
Sure. So again, this is primarily 4th, 5th, and 6th graders, and I have an example of a piece from a 12-year-old in Cuba, as well as a 12-year-old right here in Wisconsin. And this is a great example, a great illustration of the creativity and the energy and the positive outlook that these children are sharing through their artwork.
Very neat. Well, some gorgeous pieces of artwork there by some of those great kids. And I want to mention really quick before we go that admission is free.
Admission is
So
free.
that's important for you folks to know at home. So thank you so much, Corey, for joining us from
Thank
Children
you.
Are the Hope. And thank you for watching Talk of the Town. We'll see you next time.